It's time for Third Calling, where we ask the question, what are you doing the rest of your life? Perhaps you've retired, your nest is empty, you're in a transition, or thinking about what to do and be in a new season of life. Richard and Leona Bergstrom are co-directors of Reignite and authors of the book Third Calling. They're here to challenge and encourage each of us to follow God's calling and live with purpose and passion for the rest of our lives.
And that's the feature with Richard and Leona Bergstrom. It's Third Calling. What are you doing with the rest of your life? Mark Holland joining them once again. And we have Richard and Leona with us and looking through different principles of their book. And hello once again, Bergstroms.
Hello, Mark.
We've got you in studio and looking at principle number 6. What is that principle, Leona?
This principle is a tough one. We have been very excited and positive and hoping people will understand the potential of this season of life. But we are very aware that it's a difficult time of life.
Can be, yeah.
It certainly can be. And social scientists tell us it's the most dynamic time of our life, meaning there are the most changes than any other time of our life during these years. So the principle is to embrace the challenges and difficulties in this season of life, because it can be tough. And the question is, how do we live out a third calling when we're experiencing, perhaps a loss of loved ones, caregiving, issues of our own health and dependency, a variety of losses, even the loss sometimes of community, as Richard mentioned some programs ago about the church has changed, our community has changed. My own mom said to me the other day, I just want to go to church and have someone know me, and there's no one there to know me anymore. So the losses that we experience in this season are real, and we need to embrace them and understand that the Lord has not left us. We embrace them by expecting them and living through them and being present in them. I have a friend whose wife just passed away of cancer, and he said, I dare not waste this time of my life of pain and suffering. I need to invest that deep within my heart and comfort others with it. So to be present in it and to find support through these changes, these difficult times.
So where is there support for the challenges at this difficult stage in life, Richard?
Wow, that's a big and comprehensive kind of a question. I mean, anywhere from our families that are there for us when we have families that can be supportive to us. I think of my own mother, who's supported by my sister's help on a weekly basis back in Montana. The church as a community, if we're gathered there, there are resources within our local congregation, our community. Leona worked for years in geriatrics and in a hospital setting, and a lot of resources medically and in the field of social services. There are things in the community that the church doesn't need to replicate, where people can go to find resources for housing, mental health, all kinds of things. And so the principle is to reach out to those and to discover what's available, even for some to be able to continue to live in their home through services that can be provided.
At this time of
there.
life, how much do you reach out and depend on your adult children if you have them?
That's a very good question. We're part of the sandwich generation still, and so we're kind of in between elderly parents, at least our mothers are still living, and our adult children who are raising their children. And so it tends to be more of demands based upon you in both directions, while our younger adult children's families have needs of their own.
One of the spiritual disciplines we learn at this stage of life is, what does it mean to be dependent? We are taught to always be independent. I worked for years developing programs, help people stay independent. When somebody pointed out to me, one of the biggest areas of growth is learning to depend on others, whether it's our family or our church or social services, those kinds of things that can help us carry on our lives. And you still find purpose.
Yeah, we had a question to explore. How do you find purpose when your body is wearing out? You know, and ironically, a few Sundays ago, I preached in our church on the whole topic, Got Purpose. And there's a friend of ours, an elderly gentleman, whose health is declining right now. And he met me at the door and told me that he was in a crisis of purpose because his body was failing him. And he had lived a very purposeful life with a global impact. But at this point, his sense of purpose was failing him. And I understand that, and there's no easy answer for that other than to find our ultimate purpose in God, which he does, but still the reality of your body wearing out is a difficult thing to experience purpose when you're accustomed to making a contribution in the world.
Yeah. Well, Third Calling this week with Richard and Leona Bergstrom. What are you doing with the rest of your life? Whether you've got 30 years, 40 years, 10 years, 5 years left, we want to make the most of it. And some ideas on how to do that in this book, Third Calling. You can find out more at thirdcalling.com. You can also find out how to get the Bergstroms to your church or your event to lead one of their seminars. This has been Third Calling with Richard and Leona Bergstrom here on KCIS.
You've been listening to Richard and Leona Bergstrom, directors of Reignite and authors of Third Calling. What are you doing the rest of your life? To learn more about discovering your purpose and following your calling, visit thirdcalling.com. You can order their book, as well as an accompanying study guide on Amazon or on the Third Calling website. You can also listen to this feature again at kcisradio.com.